Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Before starting, I'm very happy to announce I've officially commissioned two amazing artists to produce original artwork for my new videos. They were both super helpful and amazing to work with. If you are interested, please give them a follow. You can see their social media links on screen now and in the description below. Adult Swim is one of my favorite producers of animated content and has been since I was a child. I remember staying up late when everyone else was supposed to be asleep, or hiding in my room when my family had friends over so that I could watch shows I wouldn't normally be able to. I was born in the tail end of 1999, so I didn't get to grow up with all of Adult Swim's original programming lineup, but most of it was still airing by the time I was watching. While I did miss out on some good programs, one show I didn't miss out on for sure was Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
My name is Shake Sula, the Mike Rula, the old schooler. You want a trick? I'll bring it to you.
Aqua Teen was part of Adult Swim's original programming lineup. This lineup consisted of Space Ghost Coast to Coast and its three spin-offs, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, The Brack Show, and Aqua Teen Hunger Force, as well as picking up the then-canceled Paramount show titled Home Movies. I'm not going to dive too deep into the Adult Swim block as a whole, because I want to save that for a later video, but it's worth noting that Adult Swim was surreal. The bumpers for this block were a mix of live-action footage of elderly people swimming and stylized stills with simple doodles and phrases. Crudely animated shows filled with clashing art styles, mostly as a result of them being made on shoestring budgets using recycled footage and stock animation and images. Even as a kid, I knew there was something more to Adult Swim than just crude and vulgar humor, and even now I still can't think of a single program block with more personality than Adult Swim. The reason this is also important to bring up is because I believe that Aqua Teen Hunger Force perfectly captures the aesthetic Adult Swim is going for better than any other program.
All kids out of the pool for Adult Swim. All kids out!
Aqua Teen Hunger Force is about three detectives who each make up a part of an average fast food meal. If I lost you there, this review is only going to get more confusing. The average episode features the main characters Frylock, Master Shake, Meatwad, and their neighbor Carl being harassed by anyone and anything that can find a way to justify it. The show's simple formula seems like it would get old quick, but with the excellent writing and amazing selection of both one-off and reoccurring characters, the show never gets old to me.
Adult Swim. All kids out of the pool!
The Aqua Teens were originally created to appear in the Adult Swim program Space Ghost Coast to Coast, before Adult Swim CEO Mike Laszlo told the crew to scrap the episode because he believed the Aqua Teens took too much focus away from the main cast. In response, Aqua Teen would later be pitched as its own program and become so popular that Adult Swim would greenlight the completion of the unfinished Space Ghost episode to kick off the 8th season.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force, assemble!
Frylock, the hunger hater, tater.
Meatwad, ball of compressed meat.
This is part of the reason the show is animated in the style that it is, as well as its low budget. The show's cheap and simple visuals may be off-putting to some people, but it's actually quite impressive how much the show manages to do with so little. To put things into perspective, the show has a budget of around $30,000 an episode, in a time where the standard was roughly $400,000 an episode. Because of this, the show had to get creative with its visuals by reusing old backgrounds from Hanna-Barbera shows like SWAT Kats and Johnny Quest, as well as stock footage and images. This is also why the characters are mostly animated like 2D puppets rather than fully hand-drawn animation. This not only made the show cheaper to produce, but gave the show a certain style that made it stand out next to many other animated shows, even today.
Hand out the free cigarettes.
We smoke as we shoot the bird.
Before moving on from visuals, I wanted to take a quick moment to mention that from Season 8 onward, every season has a new name and original intro to go with it. I absolutely love all of these, but my favorite by far has to be Aqua TV Show. I wish I could find the lead animator for this so I could credit them, but the theme song itself was written by Flying Lotus. In order of favoritism, I'd rank all of these intros Aqua TV Show, Aqua Something You Know Whatever, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Aqua Unit Patrol Squad 1, and Aqua Teen Forever. So visuals are one thing, but how's the actual show? Well, between its theatrical film and 11 seasons over the span of 15 years, it's very surprising this show manages to have no bad episodes. Not every episode is a masterpiece, but this is one of the only shows I can think of with a consistent level of quality across the board. Hell, even some of my favorite shows of all time have some bad episodes, as well as their own fair share of other flaws. Isn't that right, Adventure Time? You know what the fuck you did. This show even managed to keep consistent ratings and viewings until cancellation, and was only canceled because Mike Laszlo, quote, was ready to move on from it. Well, fuck you too, Laszlo. I'm glad you could just call the shots like that. Oh, honey, it's time to feed the dog. Nah, I think I'm ready to move on. All joking aside, the show had an amazing lifespan, and it was probably smart to end the show when they did. I'd much rather a good show end too early than go on and lose sight of what made it great in the first place. You either die at Gravity Falls, or live long enough to see yourself become a star versus. Besides, with the sudden rise of cult animated revivals and co-creator Matt Malario expressing interest in a revival, I doubt this will be the last time we see Aqua Teen. Even Harvey Birdman got a new special in 2018, so there is still plenty of hope for Aqua Teen to make a return.
Truly, they were an Aqua Teen hunger force.
Now, I watched most of the show on HBO Max, but if you're not familiar with the show, you may not notice that there's something missing. Starting off, we have an episode that was never finished titled Boston. Boston was an episode made to kick off the 5th season of the show and was set to parody the 2007 Boston bomb scare. If you're unfamiliar with the incident, light brights of the Moonerites from the show were made to promote the movie and spread around multiple cities in the US. Somehow the city of Boston mistook these light brights for bombs. The city of Boston was shut down and Cartoon Network was forced to pay $2 million in what I call, we really don't want to go to court over this fees. Shortly after, Cartoon Network's president stepped down from his position. 3 episodes were attempted to be made to parody this, but they were cancelled to avoid angering Boston anymore. Despite that, one of the episodes was very close to being finished and would later be leaked online. The episode seems like it was scrapped very far into development too, as most of the scenes are animated and all of the lines are recorded, just not censored.
It's a freaking light!
Bomb!
Light!
Bomb!
Light!
Bomb!
Light!
Bomb!
Light!
Bomb!
It's a bomb!
Will you shut the fuck up?
The second episode to be missing is Shake Like Me from Season 6. Now, before I talk about this episode, I want to make it very clear that I do not believe there was any malicious intent behind this episode, and I do not promote any form of discrimination whatsoever. However, I understand that certain people may find this particular episode off-putting, so if you're easily offended by race-based humor, skip to the time frame shown on screen. The episode Shake Like Me revolves around Master Shake being bitten by an irradiated black man and turning into a black man complete with all the stereotypes associated with that. Throughout the episode, Shake's appearance drastically changes and he becomes incredibly skilled at rapping, vertically jumping, and playing basketball, amongst other things. Despite what has been said, the episode actually does try to avoid being utterly tasteless and is still a pretty well-made episode. The joke feeling more like a jab at white people's understanding of black culture, and I find it hard to believe that Carrie Means would allow this to happen had there been any actual malicious intent. Though I personally don't like the decision to ban the episode in question, I understand why the network would want to wash their hands of the episode given the current political climate. Keep in mind, we're talking about HBO Max, which banned episodes of The Golden Girls where they wear mud masks for depicting blackface, as well as removing racy episodes of The Boondocks, which was made by Aaron McGruder. You know, an actual black man. Man, Kevin Riley really out here protecting marginalized groups of people from themselves. What a fucking hero. The final missing piece of Aqua Teen is actually the most surprising, as the movie Aqua Teen Hunger Force: movie film for theaters is completely absent from HBO Max. This is very confusing to me because there really doesn't seem to be a reason for the film to be missing from the service. To make matters even more confusing, the art they used to represent the show on Adult Swim's front page is literally the cover of the movie. I don't understand. The good news is the movie can be purchased on YouTube, and the 2 missing episodes can be found online, so they're not missing, just hidden.
Go away, go away. So tired of this. Friggin' go away, you freak.
Now, I know I haven't really talked too much about the show's premise as a whole yet, and that's because there's not much of one to talk about. Even them being detectives was a result of network executives wondering why these foods were hanging out with each other. I decided that since there isn't much in terms of plot to speak of, I'd delve into 5 of my personal favorite episodes to give an idea of what the show is really like. We're starting off strong with probably my second favorite episode. MC Pee Pants is about Meatwad's obsession with a rapper named MC Pee Pants who sings about wanting and later needing candy. The episode escalates as Meatwad gets Carl hooked on the song before Frylock gets suspicious from some of the subliminal lyrics, leading the gang to
612 Wharf Avenue. 612 Wharf Avenue.
612 Wharf Avenue, I know where that is.
After showing up, it's revealed that MC Pee Pants is actually a giant crazy-eyed spider wearing a diaper who's trying to get people hyped up on candy to use their energy to power a giant drill to tunnel to hell. Not only is MC Pee Pants a great reoccurring character, but this episode is hilarious and responsible for a pretty banging song.
Mess up the mix up the mess. Come on down, yo, here's the address.
Okay, so every single episode with the Moonanites is a masterpiece, so for this list, I chose the last one, which focuses on the Moonanites assembling a team of the show's past villains. For the uninformed, the Moonanites are these sprite characters who are supposed to be the ghost of the E.T. Atari 2600 landfill.
And no smoking! Give me a smoke! Give me a smoke! Give me a smoke!
Stay with the patch. Your blood pressure.
You tell another story!
Thousands of years ago, I survived the quickening of the dragonoid.
Smooth and mentholy.
Not only does this episode show off how funny the Moonanites are as villains, but it also gives me a chance to bring up villains that I thought were funny but decided to leave out of this review, like Happy Time Harry, who is a depressed knife-wielding doll, or Moth Monster Man, voiced by H. John Benjamin.
Boy, you better drop to your knees and do it right!
So who am I doing it to?
Hang on! Who's he doing this to?
If MC Pee Pants is my second favorite episode, then Sirens is the first. Sirens takes place during a period in Season 5 where the Aqua teens have moved out of their house, and the landlord Markula has commissioned Carl to sell it. This is Markula's best episode, and one of Carl's best ones too, since the episode mostly revolves around him. The episode really kicks off when Carl hears singing next door, and goes over to see the house is now populated by 3 Siren sisters, Chrysanthemum, the BJ Queen, and Philly's first baseman, John Kruk. Carl, of course, tries to get sexually involved with the sisters until realizing what exactly they do for sexual pleasure. This one literally makes me laugh all the way through, every time I've watched it, and I've watched it 5 times for this review alone, not counting editing. I don't even want to spoil any of the jokes for this one, just go watch it.
I am Chrysanthemum. This is the BJ Queen. This is John Kruk.
What's up, man?
Kruk from the Phillies?
The Granite Family is about Master Shake wanting to reboot a Flintstones parody called The Granite Family because he believes it's too out of date. Of course, this being Aqua Teen, this leads to a nuclear destruction of the world and gains the attention of a character named Time Warner, who warns people throughout time not to copy any ideas he holds the copyright of. For those of you who are uninformed, this episode was made to parody the cancelled Seth MacFarlane reboot of the Flintstones, which explains this joke.
It doesn't matter, because I'm going to the future to sell the Granite Family remake to this fox.
Woohoo!
The last episode I'm talking about today is Storage Zeebles. In this episode, Carl buys a storage unit to flip, but upon opening it, realizes there's a pocket dimension inside, which is home to a beautiful forest and mythical creatures. Of course, Carl doesn't care about any of that and is only focused on the dollar signs. A majority of the humor in this episode is the innocent locals named Zeebles trying to convince Carl to leave their land as he slowly kills off their elders, depletes their resources, and rents their land out for weddings. The funniest parts to me are just how incompetent all the Zeebles are. It shows just how unfamiliar they are with the outside world, and it really cuts me up.
Giant! Look over here! Look, it's free money! It's all for you!
These are friggin' acorns.
Yes, chipmunks value them. We bought our acorns with the chipmunks so that they may protect us from the night wolf.
Yeah, you see a bird nest, you just hit it with the flamethrower.
I've just about covered everything I need to say about Aqua Teen at this point, but as I'm wrapping up, I wanted to leave the video on this note. Aqua Teen Hunger Force may be over for now, but it will definitely leave a legacy behind, and I believe it's still super influential on other shows that would later air on the same block. Regardless of if the show comes back or not, Aqua Teen will truly live on forever through the spirit of other programs that are inspired by it. I guess you could say they truly were an Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And good night.
Hey, I'm Carl.
And I'm Brack, and this is Adult Swim New Year Defense!
You are a weird man. For the next 4 hours, we're gonna be showing you shows and hanging in the biggest party in the world. Let me hear you, Times Square! Yeah! Times Square! Raise the roof!